All right. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rich Swerbinsky with TMC. It's about a minute after the top of the hour, 2 o'clock Eastern. I want to thank you for joining us again today, this afternoon, on the TMC Connect platform. This is the first of three pretty informative sessions today. And joining us today, who I'll introduce in a moment, fellow Clevelander, Hesh Sagafi, CEO of Liberty Home Mortgage. Hesh, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Rich. I sincerely appreciate it. And of course, to Amy, Angela, Faith, and Ashley, of course, as usual, and the whole TMC family.
Yeah, and this is the redo of a session that Hesh did in person, a whiteboard session. If you've been to one of our conferences before, you're familiar with our whiteboard sessions that Hesh did in New Orleans right before everything went crazy when we were there in mid-February. And my brain was immediately thinking to how we could redo this session over different mediums. So Hesh was nice enough to spend some time with us today telling us about how to use Facebook and LinkedIn to build your brand and grow your business. And Hesh, take it away.
Okay, Rich. So I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to always speak to anybody, especially people in our industry like the Mortgage Collaborative gives, and the opportunity that the collaborative provides to everybody. If you're not a member, you've got to become a member. I don't get paid for that plug. I'm just telling you, it's super important. So today, what I'm going to talk about is leveraging Facebook and LinkedIn to build your brand. I'm going to talk to you a lot about an individual and more towards individuals than companies. That's just the truth of it. So what you're going to see is I got a couple things here. You'll see my notes. I got a little cheat sheet here. So the ladies, of course, have put onto the chat box, the chat session. You should have access to download the material that I'm going to be talking over. You'll see the outline. I've got it in front of me here. So you'll see me cheating a little bit. I set my notes down there. So every now and again, I've got to take a look. But I think I was mentioning this earlier. I think even Michael Jordan a couple times had to look before he passed the ball. Magic Johnson didn't, but that's okay. So today, of course, it's leveraging Facebook and LinkedIn to build your business, build your brand. Here's the first thought that I want you to have with this whole talk today. Hopefully you could see my board, and you have to give me a little bit of a break. This is the first time I'm taking everything online in the manner that I do. I've done presentations for over 16 years. This is my first one in this manner. The lights are a little bright. Sometimes the boards you might not be able to see. But the key thought I want you to take away from today's session is position yourself as the expert. You are the business. This is something I'm going to talk about for the next minute or two, or couple minutes, is the key to leveraging social media, to building your brand, is positioning yourself as the expert. I'll give you an example. There has possibly been no greater time in the history of our industry. I've done this for 21 years. I know there's people part of the collaborative and out in this industry that have done this job for 30, 40, 50 years. I know there's new people that just got into this industry in the last 6 to 12 months. At the end of the day, because of the coronavirus, because of everything it's doing to the world, to our country, and to our industry, to individual companies, to loan officers themselves, I'm telling you right now, there has not been a better time that the demand is at a high looking for experts in this industry. I'll give you an easy one. Everybody hopefully knows about homeowners being allowed to defer their payments. HUD has put a specific letter out there with specific guidance on how the deferment of payments works. My question to every single person watching this is, have you read HUD's letter? Do you understand their letter? And do you understand how the deferment goes? HUD actually did a study. This is part of their letter. They actually researched the top 30 mortgage servicers in the United States. I'm going to be a little bit wrong on this one because I actually didn't prepare the data for this session. And you'll come to notice sometimes I go off on these crazy tangents and you're thinking to yourself, what in the world is this guy doing? But I always get back to center, hopefully. HUD did a study. They researched the top 30 servicers in the United States. And I want to say that they found that almost every single servicer of the top 30 in the United States has wrong information on how to handle deferments of payments for homeowners. Their websites were wrong. The information that they're providing is wrong. It's pretty amazing. You've got to look up the mortgagee letter. You've got to look up the letter from HUD. However, why am I even talking about that when it comes to leveraging Facebook and LinkedIn? Because the cornerstone of positioning yourself or leveraging those social aspects of our industry is to position yourself as the expert. when you are the person who is knowledgeable of how the deferment works and you can answer questions that people have, I'm going to tell you something. People are going to come to you. They're going to follow you. Now, if I look down at my notes and sheet for a second, I say, what does this mean? Positioning yourself as an expert means that people think of you, of what you do when your name comes up. Or better yet, when somebody says, I need a mortgage, the first thing you want in people's minds is saying, call ABC Mortgage, call XYZ Mortgage, call this individual here. And the truth of the matter is, and I tell this to my own employees, we are all individuals, okay? We are all individuals. You want people talking about you. It's about thinking of who you are. Another one is you want people to recommend you. This is a reason why you position yourself as an expert. When you position yourself as an expert, people will recommend you. You will be the top of mind when people talk about you, or not even talk about you. When they talk about their need, other people around them are going to say, wow, you've got to talk to so-and-so. That person there, he knows everything. And how do they say that you know everything? Simple, because you position yourself, and the way you position yourself is by putting your name out there. Looking back down, about halfway down the first page here, there's other very important points and things which you have to keep in mind as you position yourself. So when we go onto LinkedIn, and at the end of this little broadcast here, I am going to give everybody a little homework assignment. Don't you like that one? You came onto the meeting here on the collaborative today, and you didn't know this, but I'm going to give you a homework assignment to follow, okay? Here's something for you. These are important thoughts when it comes to social media. The first step of social media, the first, if you are not going to follow what I'm telling you right now, everything's a big fat waste of time. You've got to be honest with yourself, okay? Here's the number one thought. You must make a commitment to being consistent. That means that you must post every single day. Now, we can argue and debate over 7 days, 5 days, some people every other, but quite honestly, you've got to get the message out there. There's actually a book, I'm a fairly avid reader, Grant Cardone has it, it's called 10X, okay? The truth of the matter is Grant Cardone will tell you, you got to post 20 times a day, 7 days a week. I'm not going to argue with that one. The first thing that you must do with the information I'm providing you with right now, you must make a commitment to be consistent. Let's start with the easiest way to do this. We're talking about building your brand, establishing yourself on social media. I coach wrestling. I help coach wrestling at Brecksville High School. We're one of the top wrestling teams in the country. I'm a volunteer assistant at the high school, of course. It's a great wrestling program. So I coach high school kids, young kids, young men, to do great things in wrestling, great things in life. Here's a question for everybody watching this. If a 10-year-old were to come up to you today and say, I want to win the Olympics in swimming someday. I want to win the Olympics in track and field. I want to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns when they win their first Super Bowl, which if there's a God in heaven, it'll be before I die. I just don't know if that's going to happen. It might take another 5 lifetimes to see that one. Okay, I was going off on a tangent on you guys. Sorry about that one. See, I'm a Clevelander. You know, you live in Cleveland. Diehard's Browns fan, but it's a lifelong pain, okay? So here's the bottom line. If a little child said to you, I want to be the quarterback and take the team down to the game-winning drive in the Super Bowl, how do I do that? How do I win the Olympic gold medal? What would you say to them? You know something I would say to them? You have to make a commitment to being consistent with success-oriented actions. I'll give you an example. You better come early. You better stay late. You better diet correctly. You better strengthen and exercise your mind, not only your body, but also your mind. You better practice and practice and practice. You better practice more than you can humanly imagine. And when you get to that level, keep practicing even more. The same principles and philosophies which apply to being a great athlete, they apply to being a great loan officer. They apply to leveraging social media and being great on social media. Something you must commit first when it comes to branding yourself on Facebook and LinkedIn or Instagram, Twitter, wherever else you want to go, is you have to make a commitment to being consistent. Secondly, you have to follow a theme. You have to follow a theme. I will give you 3 themes, okay? 3 themes, quickly. One of the themes is identifying who your target audience is. One of my postings I do on my personal Facebook page, I post an inspirational saying on my personal Facebook page Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. every single day. I started doing that in 2012. I have not missed one single post in 8 years now, Monday through Friday. It's an inspirational post. How is that relevant to what I'm talking about? It follows a theme. Every single day I get up, I want to start with a positive mindset. Go to my personal Facebook page, look me up. You will see my post every single day at 6 a.m. I will tell you this. I have about 5,000 friends. I don't know if that makes me world famous or if that makes me say that I know 10 people and 4,990. I have no idea who they are. But I will tell you this. Out of my 5,000 Facebook friends, I'm not joking when I say this, 4,000 are probably real estate agents. And if you check out my page right now, I probably have, just on this morning's post, probably over 100 to 150 likes. I probably have 50 to 100 comments. I probably have 4 to 10 shares of my page. And I will tell you this, almost every single like and every single comment is a real estate agent. That's my target audience. The brand that I want them to know about Hesh Sagafi is that I'm a positive individual. I think positive things. I'm a happy individual. I'm positive to be around. This is the theme that I put out there. You will not see me getting political. You will not see me with alcohol in my hand. And we can argue and debate all day. Everyone's got their own style. But I'm telling you this right now is that you have to ask yourself who your message is directed at. You have to make a commitment to being consistent. You have to follow a theme. And as we go across this, we're going to dive deeper and deeper. And if you guys do have questions, you can actually ask questions through the message board. The ladies will help me with that. When I know sometimes people will say, well, Hesh, is posting once a day too much? Or is posting 3 times a day too much? I'll answer some of those later. But if you do have questions as we go, you can ask. And I've got people here in my room with me, helping me with those. Moving back to this, you need to identify your target audience. These are the first steps to take to leveraging social media. Make a commitment to be consistent with your posts. Identify a theme, which we're going to go over shortly. Identify who your target audience is. I'm going to look down at my cheat sheet really quick here. At the bottom of page 1 of my material, it says, here are 2 concepts to keep in mind when posting on social media. The amount of success you have will be directly related to how much you offer others. I look to my board over here. This is the key question you want to ask to people. What can I do to help you? I've heard this 1,000 times. I've heard this 1,000 times. Ask for business. I'll be honest with you. I'm horrible at asking people for business. I'm horrible at it. Do you want to know what I'm exceptional at? I am exceptional at asking people this question. What can I do for you? And I don't just say that because I read it in a book or I watched it on a video. I'm being sincere when I say this. I'll tell you guys watching this who are in the collaborative right now, my company spends about $150,000 a month on LendingTree and Zillow leads, okay? I'm feeding the beast with Zillow, right? I'm the evildoer and people are gonna stone me right now. Here's the truth. If you're sitting there watching this and you're gonna go buy LendingTree leads or Zillow leads and you want data on that before you spend your money, come to me. We spend $150,000 a month on it. We buy a lot of leads from those companies. I will give you all of my data. Anyone out there watching this who is a mortgage lender or a loan officer, I'll give you all of my data. Why would I give you all of my data? Simple, because why should you spend money trying to figure something out if I've already done it and I've got information that can legitimately help you do what you do? At the end of the day, I learned it from my mom. I learned it from my dad, but especially my mom. My mom used to have me carry a UNICEF box for Halloween. Like this just popped into my head. So I was the only one of all my friends that every house we would go to, I also had to hold the box out and say, I'm collecting for UNICEF. Can you please donate any money? My mom taught me when I was a kid, help other people, look out for other people. The truth of the matter is, none of this stuff I'm talking about will work unless you put others before yourself. You have to put other people ahead of your own needs. When you do that, especially through social media, I will guarantee good things will happen. And it all starts with this question. What can I do to help you? Or what can I do to help your business? So these are the steps just to go back through and comb back down. When we're looking to get into social media and begin, the first thing we have to do is make a commitment to being consistent. That's the first thing. The second thing, as I have down, is you have to follow a theme. come up with a theme. We're going to go through that shortly. The third thing is identify your target audience. Who are you targeting? When you target that audience, the question you want to ask that I have over here, of course, is what can I do to help you, or what can I do to help your business? These are the beginning steps. Again, these are on the notes that are provided in the chat box. You can see these after, you can go through them a lot more detailed afterwards. I flip over to page 2 of my material now. The next section we go is social media allows you to choose an identity or a personality. So now this is where we dive deeper on how do you actually leverage the media. This is how you do this here. Social media allows you to be someone. Now this could sound a little bit crazy, but social media allows you to be someone, whoever you wish to be, okay? You can be a rock star, you can be a championship athlete, you can be the most extroverted individual on the planet, you can be the most introverted, you can be a politician, you can be anything you want, okay? Circling back to who our target audience is and what are we trying to target them with, these are the 2 personalities here that I always tell people you should try to become on social media, okay? Number 1 is the inspirational person. Inspirational, motivational. I'll tell you this, especially at today's times, there are a lot of people out there who need to hear positive news, positive messages, positive reinforcement that it's great to be alive even during this time. If you go to my personal Facebook page, you will see that's my theme. You will not see me talking about politics. You will not see me take a picture of my chicken breast, okay? I understand that people take pictures of their food, their lunch, their dinner, the wine they're drinking, their water skiing. I get it. Here's my question. What are you trying to sell? What message are you trying to get across to people? How does taking a picture of your dinner position you as an expert at what you're doing? That's the inspirational message. The second identity is one of the educator. We're going to go very deep on that one. The educator is a personality, as I call it, which I believe when you present yourself as an educator, that absolutely positively positions you as an expert. For me to you, you want to choose one of these 2. Now, don't forget, you have to make a commitment to post consistently. And consistently is not for 5 days. It's not for 7 days. It's not for 10 years. It is a lifestyle. It is a commitment to being great. That's the commitment I'm talking about. If we look back down to my notes here, I say, keep in mind, whichever personality you choose, you must stick with it and stay with it. The motivational personality, this is posting inspirational and motivational sayings and things like that. The educator, this is posting information and educational information, which people post about. As an example, when I flip my page again here, if I can for a second, they're sticking together for a quick second. This is the educator, and this is an easy one to talk about. Okay, this is an easy one to talk about. As an educator, I call it the did you know post. Okay, it's the did you know. The did you know post is like this. I'll speak to you as a loan officer. Now, mind you, I'm going to speak to you as a loan officer who's posting on Facebook. I will tell you this one. Facebook demographically is predominantly people who are in Generation X or baby boomers. Millennials spend a lot more time on Instagram. Generation X, my demographic, I was born in 1973, and baby boomer generation, they spend more time on Facebook. LinkedIn is very business to business, very B2B. I've been posting on LinkedIn, by the way, since August of 2017. I post 7 days a week. And I'll tell you this one here. My company, we have 9 underwriters working for us. I want to say that 6 of the 9 underwriters came on board because of me posting on LinkedIn. I can go through my entire company. I will tell you that I want to say the number is, I didn't write it down, but I want to say 30 to 35% of my company was brought on board because of my posting on LinkedIn 7 days a week. Because I post on LinkedIn every single day, 30% of my company is through LinkedIn. When it comes to an educator, I'll give you an example of Facebook. Demographically, and I said identify your target audience. If you're a loan officer out there, one of the things you might be targeting are real estate agents. Real estate agents are great referral sources for loan officers. Your average real estate agent in the United States is a 53-year-old female. I've got news for you. 53-year-old females are not sitting on Twitter, okay? Are they on Twitter? Sure they are. They're not living on it. 53-year-old females are not sitting on Instagram, and not many are necessarily sitting on LinkedIn. They're sitting on Facebook. Go look at the chart of the age group, all of that, the demographic of Facebook. Go look at the demographic from the National Association of Realtors. Go look at those two combined. On Facebook, here's a post that I do constantly. It's called the Did You Know? I'll give you an example. Did you know that on a conventional loan, you can purchase a home with a down payment as little as 3% down? Did you know that FHA requires you to be out of a Chapter 7 bankruptcy for 2 years from the discharge date? Did you know that collections do not have to be paid off in order to get a VA mortgage loan? Did you know that FHA goes to a 500 credit score? Those are did you knows. Look at how short they are. They're short, they're sweet, they hit. Remember this. People are driving down the road, even though they shouldn't be. I get it. They're driving down the road. They're in their office. They're scrolling down their page. You have about 1/8 of a millisecond to get their attention. I'm not going to do some gigantic rambling of the FHA HUD handbook over FHA guidelines. It's going to be, did you know that the seller can pay up to 6% of the closing cost towards the buyer's closing cost on a purchase for an FHA mortgage loan? This is what I'm talking about. These are the did you know posts, okay? Something I always tell people is, or this is the homework assignment that I give to people is right now, and I'll give it to every single person watching this cast here. When we're done with this, by this weekend, I want you to type up 20 did you know posts that are no longer, now listen to this one, no longer than one sentence. No longer than one sentence. I already gave you a bunch, and I'll be honest with you. I give these things to everybody. If you want a list of them, I'll just email you my list of them that I do. They're simple. Did you know that VA is no money down? Did you know that you could purchase a 4-family using FHA financing with a down payment of only 3.5%? This is the stuff I'm talking about. When you give knowledge, when you give the knowledge, and notice, I'm not sitting here pounding on my chest saying, I have the lowest interest rate. I'm at 3.5 today. My APR is 4.15. Throw all that garbage out the window. Do you want to know something? Everybody's doing that. Every single lender in America, go scroll through their pages. This is our rate. These are our fees. This is how many humans we've saved. Who cares? That's like everybody else. Don't present what you do and ask for the business. Post the information to help them. I've got news for you. There's a real estate agent right now somewhere in America who has a buyer who's having a difficult time getting financed over a specific situation. And when they scroll by your feed and see FHA does not require collections to be paid off in order to get a mortgage loan, when they see that, they might slam on the brakes and say, wait a second, that's the problem we are having. I'm calling that guy. You want to know why? Because at the end of the day, you positioned yourself as the expert. Without even asking for the business, you positioned yourself as the person who they should be calling because you gave them knowledge. There's a saying that I love, and I love a lot of sayings, as a matter of fact. It's, blessed are those who can give without remembering and receive without forgetting. Always have that mentality. It's a servant mentality. It's a mentality to help other people. Give knowledge. If I go back to this board over here, that is my did you know post. On the did you know post, you post did you know and give them a piece of information. Now at the end of that post, I call it a hook, okay? Here's the hook. Did you know that FHA does not require collections to be paid off in order to qualify for a mortgage loan? For further information such as this, or to get pre-approved or go through other scenarios, call Hesh at 216-780-1103 or visit my website here, whatever it is. You put a finishing line, a contact, but it's not even a contact of, we do the best FHA loans. It's for additional information, feel free to reach out for me. I've got news for you. It's not confrontational. People are scared when they call you. They don't want to get pulled into some big, gigantic sales thing. They just want a little bit of information. When you're sitting here saying, hey, for further details or other questions similar to this, reach out to me here and I can help answer your questions. The truth is, you're looking for people to reach out so you can do a loan for them. But when you position yourself as the expert, this is what you're looking at doing. I look back down to my notes. So I say at the bottom of page 2 of my notes, my little homework assignment, it's to come up with 20 did you knows, and you type all of those out. I flip over to the next little page here. And then I finish with this here on page 3 of my handout, my material, and hopefully you guys can see this. Here's other points to keep in mind with social media, good and bad. I'm going to flip over to this page here, Mo, if you go follow me back this way, is these are the different forums. Of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, videos. Videos are great things. Videos are extremely good things, okay, to do. Here's the bottom line. There's no such thing as too much of anything if you're giving content with what you're doing. People always ask me, Hesh, should I do videos? How about commenting on other pages? I'll tell you this one, on LinkedIn, when you comment on somebody's page, you bring attention to their page. So by commenting on other people's posts, you're helping them out. And again, when you go back to a mentality of helping others, this helps you do what you do. Commenting, put together events. The event that, of course, the Mortgage Collaborative they put together here, and it's an incredible venue, and they were nice enough to invite me on to present some information myself. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. There's a lot of other mediums you can always go to. I have my notes here. I'm going to cheat, and I'm holding it in my hand now. Let me tell you this first about social media. It's free. It doesn't cost you $1. I'll tell you this one here. I do ask a lot of people, how deep do you want to go and how great do you want to become? I wrestled at Oklahoma State University. My wrestling coach was a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 6-time world champion, John Smith. I saw firsthand what it took for him to become the greatest in the world. It took a lot. If you are true to that, there could be no excuses to not doing social media. And I'll give you the first reason. It's free. I'll give you the second reason. It's free. And I'll give you the third. It's free. Okay. On LinkedIn last summer, I did a post. And by the way, I didn't write it down in here. But another one is weave in some personal stories. I'll give you guys a personal story. I didn't really even intend to mention it. But I did this post on LinkedIn last year. Okay. June 19th, 1997. I was in downtown Cleveland, 2:30 in the morning. 5 people came up to me and my friend. One person standing behind another person who was up in front of me, reached around that individual and stuck a knife in my chest. I was almost murdered. I almost died. June 19th, 1997. I did a post on that last summer on LinkedIn. And the point of the post was June 19th, 1997, I was almost murdered. I remember the feeling. I remember the moment, quite honestly, even right now standing here doing this talk. I remember laying on the ground of BW3, the dirty floor, bleeding to death. I remember that moment like it just happened 4 minutes ago. I remember it. Today with the coronavirus, this is horrible. What it's doing to people, a lot of people have died from it. This is serious. But I'll tell you this one, it's not as bad as thinking you're going to die laying on the floor, bleeding to death. I mean, that's an intense situation. For me, that's my baseline. I did a post on it. And by the way, it got over 100,000, I think it got over 100,000 or 200,000 likes. It got over 5,000 to 10,000 comments. It got over, I think, 500 shares. And do you want to know how much I paid for it? $0. I paid nothing for it. I did not spend $1, and more than 100,000 people engaged and interacted with the post. Why? Because I shared a personal story showing that you're vulnerable. You're a normal person like everyone else. I'll tell you guys this one. I've done this job for 21 years. I've almost declared bankruptcy twice in this industry. 2002, May of 2002, March of 2009. May of 2002, I charged up $54,000 on my credit cards when I opened my company. I guess all the videos I watched, they kind of left that part out of it. I got through that. I did not go bankrupt. I paid it off. 2009, March of 2009, I had over $600,000 in credit card debt. My minimum payments were $20,000 a month. You want to talk about stress and living check to check. I'll never forget when I called Bank of America to do another cash advance, and they told me no more cash advances allowed for you. I remember that. I was standing by my dishwasher in my kitchen, March of 2009. I put those stories out there to show people that I'm a real person too. And these are issues that I've dealt with. And when you open up to people on social media or really anywhere and you tell them that, hey, this is me. These are some of the mistakes I've made. These are the lessons I've learned. And by the way, these are the lessons and the mistakes I don't want to see you make. They come to you. It helps build a following. And the cost of it is free. It doesn't cost anything. I have down here that you can do it while laying in bed underneath your blanket. I mean, for goodness sake, if you're going to tell me you cannot post something every day, while you can do it while laying under your blanket, in bed, watching TV, such as in the Line of Fire with Harrison Ford, or watching, or with Clint Eastwood, I've been watching that movie lately a lot on TV since I've been in my house. But if you can't do it while laying in bed for free, then you're not true to it. It's not something you want to do. Another thing I have, you can use it to gain valuable information about people whom you wish to align yourself with. If you're chasing after a real estate agent in particular, how are we doing on time? If you're chasing after a particular real estate agent out there, you can go look them up and study everything they did. Maybe do you want to know what my weak spot is? Wrestling. If somebody hits me up and starts with, Hesh, you wrestled at Oklahoma State University. Okay, you got me. Let's talk. Okay, I will talk wrestling. Okay. If you go and research me, you can find the things that I like. If you just call me on the phone and say, Hesh, I have a product, I want you to buy it, I can't hang up the phone fast enough. But if you call me on the phone and say, Hesh, you wrestled at Oklahoma State University, you coach wrestling at Brecksville High School, you got my attention, let's go. That's because you took the time to research me on social media, because I have things on social media. Another thing, it's creating, solidifying, and maintaining your brand. It requires a commitment. Posts can be retyped in bulk, so you can pre-type your post. This is what I do with my posts. I pre-type them up, and then all I do is I copy and I paste them, I put them out there. There's a lot of other steps that I have listed down there, but quite honestly, I've kind of gone through them, and I'm not sure exactly where we are in time. How much time did this take us so far? 2:30, so it's 30 minutes there, and we're hoping we're doing good. So, Rich, that's kind of my material. I mean, I have other pointers and things like that. I'm not sure if anybody has questions or there was anything out there. We have one question. How do you get traction on posts? So here's a question that I was asking. Thank you so much for the question. How do you get traction? That's actually the easiest question to answer. Content. You need content. You have to be patient with your posts. I will tell you this, today on LinkedIn, I have about 6,000 views on a regular basis. I was up at 17,000, it tapered down a little bit. I switched my message up. You have to be patient. When I first started posting on Facebook, I would get no likes. It drove me nuts, but I made a commitment. I kept posting every single day. Lo and behold, after 2 to 3 months of nothing, I started getting likes, comments, and shares. So the question of how do you get traction? You have to provide quality content with information. When you provide quality content with information, after consistently posting, you will get people liking you. I liken everything to the sport of wrestling. If you want to be a great wrestler, you can't practice hard for 1 or 2 weeks. You've got to do it for 10 years. Sounds a little bit crazy, but in order to get traction, you need quality content, and you must post consistently on a regular basis. Another question we had there, and Andrew's following up on it right now, is what are my favorite industry resources? Well, I'll tell you one resource that's incredible is the Mortgage Collaborative. I'm not just saying that either. The Mortgage Collaborative is a group of lenders and loan officers. It's a community who will provide you with as much information as you can possibly think of. As far as other groups to go into, you want to network with other loan officers, with other real estate agents. You want to link up with them on Facebook and LinkedIn and places like that. And is Facebook a good business to business? So another question is Facebook good business to business? In my world, and I've done Facebook for 8 years, I will tell you this, it has absolutely strengthened my relationships that I have with real estate agents. So real estate agents in a business to business, absolutely. Again, demographically, real estate agents are predominantly on Facebook. That's your target audience. The question to ask is, what message do real estate agents want to hear? And that's what you give them. Now, do you video yourself water skiing in a bathing suit in the ocean? Is that providing valuable content to a real estate agent? I don't think it is. I think providing valuable content is giving them knowledge that they need to help them through these times. Facebook is incredible for business to business if you're targeting the right audience and you know who they are. So absolutely, yes, it is. Another question is, if you're new to social media, how many new connections per week? I will tell you this one. I was given this one from Kelsey from Annie Mac. She did an incredible job of directing me on this one. On LinkedIn, for me, I try to network with other loan officers. LinkedIn for me is business to business, and I use it for recruiting and hiring. Every single day on LinkedIn, I connect to 50 loan officers per day, 7 days a week. So every morning I wake up, I search out loan officers. I click connect to 50, 7 days a week. In August of 2018, when I started posting on LinkedIn, I had 7,000 connections. In the last 2 years, it's not even been 2 years, or 2000, I'm losing track of my dates a little bit actually. In the 2-3 years I've been doing that, I'm up to 22,000 connections today. On Facebook, again, like and friend your target audience. If you want to align with real estate agents, look up real estate agents and connect with them. There's not an exact number. You don't want to suddenly go in like 500, because the algorithms in these platforms will just think you're trying to connect and they'll shut you off. So you don't want to over connect, but there's not so much a specific number. Hopefully that helps with that question. LinkedIn or Facebook? Oh, so a question, LinkedIn or Facebook? I'll be honest with you. In my experience of doing this for my company, I started my company 5 years ago with 2 people, myself and my processor. Today we have 163 employees. The company's gone from 2 to 160 in 5 years. LinkedIn has built 30 to 40% of that for me. For recruitment, quite honestly, LinkedIn hands down. For real estate, as a loan officer who's trying to get business, Facebook by a mile, not even close. Also, way better than Instagram. As an originating loan officer, and by the way, guys, I'm a loan officer first. If I show you my business card, it doesn't say president, CEO, even though I own Liberty Home Mortgage. It says mortgage banker, loan originator, loan officer. That's what I tell people I am. I'm a loan officer first. As a loan officer, Facebook by a lifetime. It's not even close, because demographically, my target audience, real estate agents, are on Facebook. So between the two, hands down Facebook as a loan officer. If I'm recruiting or trying to hire people, hands down, LinkedIn, not even close. Another question is, does posting on realtors' listings help you grow? Absolutely. There is no question. It's about top of mind. The more you can post and share and provide quality information. Sharing means just don't share it. Give a message, say something. You have to provide value. You have to provide content. It's not just a matter of clicking like and just saying hello. You've got to dive deeper. I have a philosophy. I call it one step further. Always take everything one step further. Don't just comment and say something specific to their post. Private message them, set up a meeting with them, give them a phone call, send them a text, send them an email, ask them how you can help them. These are all parts of it, but the message is the same. You have to make a commitment to being consistent. Another question is, any tips on boosting engagement? In 2015, I spent $15,000 on boosting in 2015. I spent $35,000 on boosting on Facebook in 2016. Gary Vaynerchuk did a video in early 2016 and said, Facebook's going to figure out that for the amount of money you pay relative to the people it gets in front of, they're going to change that around. When I used to boost on Facebook in 2015, I would pay $100 for a boost for 24 hours. It would go to over 100,000 people. Today, paying $100, it'll go to 10,000 people. So Facebook figured it out. I will tell you this. People are always so fast to spend money. I'll give you an idea of money quick. My company, we spend $150,000 a month. That's a month. That's not a year. A month on LendingTree and Zillow. I spend $5,000 a month on billboards throughout the city of Cleveland. I spend $1,000 a month on television commercials. I used to spend $5,000 a month on radio. I spend $5,000 a month on seminars, presentations. I can run you down our cost, our expenses of how much we spend on things. I'll tell you this one. Before you start spending money, do the things that are free. You can post on Facebook, you can post on LinkedIn, and you don't have to pay $1. And if you post with enough quality and content, I promise you, you don't have to spend $1. If you want to spend money, I'll show you spending money. I spend money, okay? Start with the free stuff. If you can't do the free stuff on a consistent basis, you're throwing your money out the window. Another question is there a length of a video that works best? I've watched 1,000 videos on the algorithms, and I can do talks over all of that stuff. And I will tell you this one again. I've done videos for 30 seconds. I've done them for 7 minutes. I've done them for 17 minutes. I've seen it all over the place. I will tell you this, and I keep coming back to this. If the quality is there, if the content is there, you will get the views that you need. I've done podcasts, I guess, on video that are 1 hour long that have gotten more views than a 30-second blurb that I've done, okay? I've done 30-second blurbs on a video that have taken off way more than 3-minute videos. And again, anybody that says they've got the algorithm dialed in is full of it. Unless they own LinkedIn or they own Facebook, and it's Mark Zuckerberg, to anybody else, nobody has it figured out. Nobody does. But what is figured out is this: quality content on a consistent basis. If you can remember that from this talk, I win. Another question is, how are you boosting on your personal page? I do not boost on my personal page. I boost on my business page on Facebook. So I have a Hesh Sagafi Liberty Home Mortgage business page on Facebook. I boost on that. On Facebook and LinkedIn, you cannot boost on your personal pages. So boosting only occurs on business pages. And again, anybody out there, if you want to get a hold of me, my cell phone number is 216-780-1103. My cell phone's sitting about 7 feet away from me. To be honest with you, that's the farthest that phone's ever been for this length of time. So I'm very accessible. I'll give you everything I've got of what I do, how I do it. And I'm not going to sell you a box of DVDs either, okay? I'm a loan officer. I'm an originator. Generally, for the 21 years I've done this, I generally average 150 self-generated purchase loans per year. That's me, myself. I close about 12 per month, referrals from real estate agents, and all of these crazy marketing things that I've told you about. These are the tools I've used to help me get to where I am. The Lending Tree leads and Zillow leads, I do not take those. I give those to my call center. I have all the data to show you on that stuff. I could show you how to work it. I could show you the dialer systems to use for it. I personally don't use it for my production, but I can give you any information you need on that one. Andrew, are there any other questions for right now? And I can't tell you guys enough, Rich and the ladies and everybody watching, how much I sincerely appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully you downloaded my material. I think it's a lot more organized and thought, and it goes a lot deeper and spells out a lot more of the points I made. But on that note, God bless you guys. Rich, are you out there? You're going to take it away from here?
I'm here. Yes. Thank you very much, Hesh. That was outstanding. Really appreciate you taking the time out to do that. And yeah, likely to tap on your shoulder again soon to do this presentation again. So a lot of great feedback, comments. I already got a few emails. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Well, hey, thanks for the opportunity. I guess we're going to shut this camera off. I'm done for the day. We'll talk later. And if anybody needs me, reach out, email me, call me, whatever you guys want. I'll give you everything I've got. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, Hesh. And for those of you on the line, we will send out via email a copy of the recording for you. And yeah, obviously something good to share with others in your organization. Great content from Hesh. And yeah, more to come from him. That always gets so much positive feedback on any time he presents. So thank you very much. We have a couple more sessions today at the top of the hour. We have just a general one that I do, 15, 20 minutes on just the benefits of membership in the Mortgage Collaborative in general. We've got some prospective members, some newer members that are going to be jumping on that. So, and then at 4 o'clock today, our weekly capital markets update from the frontline session. And so a couple more great sessions to wrap things up here on a Wednesday on TMC Connect. So thank you as always for your time, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone.